Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we love to talk about movies. Welcome especially if you're new. If you enjoy talking about movies and staying up to speed on what's in theaters and what's worth checking out, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a review. Alright, with that we're going to get into today's review, which is for Confess Fletch. I just got back from seeing it at the theater, so let's dive on in. So in this movie, after becoming the prime suspect in multiple murders, Fletch strives to prove his innocence while simultaneously searching for his fiancee's stolen art collection. So we're just going to cover the 5 points of the film that stood out to me the most, and then we'll conclude with a kind of overall letter grade and summary of my thoughts. So the first thing that stood out to me was definitely the humor. It's a movie that I think is pretty funny throughout. I know I was laughing, and several other people in the auditorium were laughing. It's not like your slapstick sort of humor, but it's more of like people kind of taking jabs at each other and that sort of a thing. So it was the sort of humor that worked for me. The second point that I thought was a highlight of the film was the mystery. And I don't want to talk too closely to it because even saying if there was a surprise or there wasn't, that can always, sort of, it's a mild spoiler getting into that. But for me, the mystery of this film worked. I liked how they set it up, where in some cases they can tell, like they may tell you right off the bat who is guilty or maybe who's innocent, but in this situation you don't know whether or not the main character is innocent, so it keeps you guessing the entire way through. At least it did for me. The third thing that stood out was just John Hamm. I think he's very charismatic, and that certainly comes through in this movie. He's a very likable character, and so I think that just helps you like the movie a lot more when you like the main character. Fourth thing that stood out were the detectives. You had Monroe and Grizz, and I thought they were actually quite well done. A lot of times, movies or TV shows don't really know how to strike the balance between, like, when it comes to detectives. A lot of times in things like this, they paint them as not really good at their job and just kind of washed up characters, but other times, especially if it's a show or movie focused on the detectives, they're kind of like superstars. And I thought that they did these ones very well as kind of middle of the road detectives, like competent in their jobs for the most part, but not like overachievers. And so they just felt like very grounded in, I think, what you'd get from real detectives. So I thought they did a good job on both of those. And then the last thing that I liked about the film was that it just felt so much like a sort of heist or con sort of movie. And the soundtrack definitely played into that. It's kind of got that jazzy sort of soundtrack, the thing you'd hear in like Ocean's 11 or the show Leverage. Things like that, they tend to use that style of music, and it certainly fits very well with the film, but it definitely had that tone going throughout. And that's one of my favorite genres, so I really liked it for that reason. But yeah, those are the 5 points that kind of stuck out to me for the film as a whole. Overall, I give this a letter grade of an A. It's not like a great movie, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good, and it was something that I enjoyed. I don't know that it's gonna be for everybody. Like, if you don't really like heist movies, and I think the things that work for me may not work for everybody, but given that they did work for me, my letter grade's an A. It's one that I recommend. I think it's worth checking out. It's just a lot of fun. It's not like groundbreaking cinema or anything like that, but yeah, if you're looking for a good time and a laugh, I think it's worth checking out. So if you've had a chance to see Confess Fletch, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review.